Hello, this is World University and Schools News and Question and Answer on Monday, the 21st of November, 2022. I'm Scott MacLeod. This is Yosemite's Half Dome on Google Smart TV. One question as we wait to see if people will join us for this open conversation is how to bring real-time broadband for music making, but also for so many other things like robotics in through Google Smart TV, for example, in people's homes. So how to add fiber optic cables, access, and even for all 7.9 billion people, such that we might be able to enter into realistic virtual Yosemite National Park from our homes, from our own rooms. So this is, again, World University and Schools News and Question and Answer. World University and School is like a Wikipedia in 300 languages with CC4 OCW.MIT.EDU centric planned accrediting degrees in MIT open courseware in 7 languages, also with a bookstore, computer store, robotics store, hospital technologies distribution center down at the bottom here, academic press planned in 7,000 languages, and these educational services stores, robotics stores would be physical digital. So both on the ground, potentially eventually, and in cyberspace. The on-the-ground stores might also be further facilitated, even in the planning process, with something like Toyota ProAce electric autonomous vehicle vans that might be available in 2024, with even Toyota humanoid robotics, such as the THR3. So 2 autonomous systems, potentially the Toyota ProAce autonomous vehicle van as an autonomous system, and the THR3 like robots as an autonomous system, working together potentially for deliveries and related, potentially also in the educational services stores, physically at World University and School in all of 200 countries and in all potentially regions with speakers of 7,151 known living languages. So the news I'd like to share with you today, first is that in monthly business meeting on Saturday, please check out the video recording. 2 days ago, we had the open monthly business meeting for World University and School in the WUAS Press at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern time, accessible in Zoom video conferencing. And there's a recording of it. And we explored potentially 200 online WUAS medical schools, teaching hospitals, and collaborating rather with Stanford Medicine than with Harvard Medicine. And that was, I think, agenda item 31 from in the monthly business meeting on Saturday. And synchronistically, perhaps, one Andreas Bergthaler, a scientist in Austria, tweeted today or yesterday about I think he's a geneticist, and he was retweeted by the brilliant English geneticist Ewan Burney. He retweeted that he was asked to walk an illustrious group, the chairman of the Nobel Foundation, the dean of the Harvard Medical School, and other leading international scientists, and the related news, CAMM_news, and students as well, through a medieval Austrian town. This is fascinating because World University and School medical schools had explored collaborating with Stanford Medicine for online medical schools teaching hospitals rather than Harvard Medical School. And also because we would seek to reach out potentially to Harvard Medical School too, and possibly even George Church, the Harvard and MIT professor of genetics, who one Harvard Medical School professor, Maitreyi Mazumdar, described as her dean in the Harvard Medical School. She's a professor in the Harvard Medical School. And so I'm not sure who this Harvard Medical School dean is in Andreas Bergthaler's tweet, but perhaps it was George Church, which leads me to the second news item I'd like to share with you. And it has to do with a kind of slow news, and regarding also Harvard and MIT professor of genetics, George Church again, and the pyramids at Giza, where these pyramids are 4,500 years old, approximately, and they were built to endure an eternity. And how to build Creative Commons 4 licensed OCW.MIT.EDU centric wiki World University and School that far into the future, so another 4,500 years digitally, if we can plan for this. And even regarding the immortality word that Harvard and MIT professor of genetics George Church used in a recent video interview he was in, and titled something like George Church's theory of aging. So will we be around, each of us, you and I, as individuals, because of aging reversal genetic drug therapies and longevity drug therapies, in another 4,500 years, and teaching and learning at World University and School, and thanks to the genetic engineering revolution, for example. That's fascinating slow news, possibly, given the scale of time. And I think skepticism is very much merited with the possibility of immortality genetically, but interesting that scientists like George Church and many other geneticists are exploring these questions now quite rigorously. And post the coronavirus pandemic, which went roughly from March of 2020 through the middle of 2022, as vaccines were produced in a remarkably short time, something like 9 months, to create a vaccine against SARS-CoV-2. I think it was incredible. So that's the news I would like to share with you from today's email to many World University and School WUAS news and question answer recipients, and in this recording. And I'd also like to share now with you the possibility or some of the agenda items that we didn't get to on Saturday from World University and Schools open monthly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of Quakers, unprogrammed friends, hour long, and on the third Saturday of the month at 12 noon Eastern time, accessible these days in video conferencing. So the next item I'd like to share with you is a news item today, is agenda item 16, and how to best build in to World University and School in India, planning for major online OCW.MIT.EDU centric wiki universities with free degrees in each of all 22 official languages in India, protections for World University and School matriculating students, protections of kids, of women, of potential victims, and in World University and School planning to code for even all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number, for free universal education that's wiki, people to people, and also possibly to even end poverty with distributing, maybe via universal basic income experiments, Stanford MinePi cryptocurrency, which would also require everyone to have smartphones. So how to build in to India WUAS abolition to protect Indian students, Indian kids, and in all of the 22 official languages in India. This is an interesting question as India moves through industrialization and as an expression of modernity sociologically and into the information age, and in all its various languages. I think it has something like 447 maybe living languages by one count, beyond the 22 official languages. So World University and Schools exploring these ideas further about how to build in WUAS abolition at India WUAS to protect Indian students and wiki teachers and learners at World University and School as well. So agenda item 17, the Harvard Medical School professor of genetics, George Church, posted on the end of October about a new aging reversal genetics researcher in the Harvard Medical School with a Stanford PhD, who is focusing on skin cells. And it was a fascinating Forbes magazine article. And she's looking at how adding pluripotent stem cells to skin can potentially reverse aging, I think, in humans, and how this might be applied system-wide. So not only to skin cells, but to many of the cells in the human body. I think she's taking a data approach in a new way, which will complement George Church's heralding of much aging reversal research with myriad of scientists now working on these questions. And I think Denitsa Milanova's Harvard Medical School research builds on the work of Nobel laureate, I think, Shinya Yamanaka, who in the 1990s, maybe publishing a paper in 2006, succeeded in identifying a small number of genes which, when activated in the skin cells of mice, could be reprogrammed to immature skin cells. So this is fascinating research and could further contribute to aging reversal, genetic drug therapies, significantly, that might be available and FDA approved for people by 2030, which is one of Harvard and MIT George Church's estimates. Agenda item 18, World University and School is interested in interspecies research. So, and even with regard to listening to music, and potentially in designing experiments for this. So there have been a number of instances I've come across with deer or stags or similar that species seeming to listen to human-made music. I took a picture of a stag when I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area about a year and a half, 2 years ago, that seemed to come over and lay down outside my window and touch 2 points of its antlers to my window as I was playing the Allman Brothers concert at Cow Palace in 1973. And there was another recent online Twitter post of a woman playing J.S. Bach in a park and a deer coming over, seemingly to listen. What is it about music, and these musics in particular, Allman Brothers rock and roll and J.S. Bach, that might appeal to deer? Are they even listening to this music? What are they appreciating? Why might deer be interested in this music, like humans might be interested in this music, but not mice? This is potentially brain and psychology research, experimentally rich, newly made possible by the web, and having to do also with questions of enjoyment and how music might be possibly an intervention in these regards for people in a psychological sense. How to study this scientifically and newly via the web and the internet. So agenda item 19, best free museum docent applications, apps for our smartphones for visitors in any museum, for all museums in all countries, in all languages, possibly inspired by Google and the Google information technology ecosystems. How could World University and School facilitate this? A new best museum docent app, so that if you were to go into a museum and have questions or want specific kinds of history and maybe 10 different views of an interpretation of a painting or a sculpture, how can World University and School create this digitally? One of the things World University and School is exploring is how to create a realistic virtual Earth for museums. Think Google Street View with Time Slider, with Google Maps, Google Earth, Google TensorFlow AI, Google Translate, and even a film to 3D app or application, such that we might be able to go into any museum and add our own smartphone video of a docent giving a talk or a piece of art, and add it to Google Street View with Time Slider, and then further find out possibly a docent's interpretation or 10 different docents' interpretations of this one work of art, thanks to information technology. All a little bit dizzying in its implications, but fascinating in many ways. In this realistic virtual Earth for museums, in all languages, in all 200 countries from all time, could we, in Google Street View with Time Slider conceptually, could we even travel back to the Louvre Museum in the 1400s and talk with avatar bots in front of a work of art in Google Street View with Time Slider, where these avatar bots might be people who lived at the time and could be considered possibly docents as well, and have a conversation with them and ask them in 1583 in the Louvre Museum in virtual reality, interactively, about a work of art further. And as we were doing this, could we use our smartphones' film to 3D application and add that conversation further to a realistic virtual Earth for museums? Think Google Street View with Time Slider, TensorFlow AI, Google Translate. So fascinating possibilities for a
Here's the top
free
search result.
Museum docent app for visitors in any museum, in all museums, in all countries, from all time, in all languages. And Google on my smartphone just woke up, Google Voice, and offered some further results as I've been talking here. This is kind of a slight snapshot into where we are with Google Voice and voice natural language processing technologies, smartphones, as I share this WS News and question and answer on 11/21/22 from my MacBook Air laptop computer in a Zoom video conference channel, which no one else has yet joined, but people may, using wireless broadband. So my MacBook Air laptop is receiving and transmitting its signals, bits and bytes, packet switching, to make this video conferencing possible, as I will record this to a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott MacLeod World University. Agenda item 20 from monthly business meeting on 11/19/22, 2 days ago, Saturday, which we didn't get to in monthly business meeting. This builds on this museum docent app, but it's something World University and School has been exploring for quite a while. WUAS Film to 3D app that might be also specifically OCW.MIT.EDU centric at World University and School, for a realistic virtual Earth for robotics. So could we take a WUS Film to 3D app into any robotics lab, anywhere, video the robotics we see in front of us, and add this to a single realistic virtual Earth for robotics, and begin to work digitally, virtually, with creating robotics, modeling robotics in 3D. And could we even do this further for learning purposes at a WUS home robotics track in an engineering major, potentially with Lego robotics in a realistic virtual Earth? So these are fascinating physical, digital, actual virtual questions, and something World University and School would seek to explore further with time, and make these apps available. There's just myriads of apps available these days of the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, many for free, and also many which cost money. And in this flourishing time in the information technology revolution, all of these new apps that I've been talking about are something that World University and School would like to have teams of World Universiteans developing, teams of coders, teams of roboticists, WUS roboticists, too, for example. So agenda item 21, and you can see this in the WS News and Agenda and News for World University and School's monthly business meeting on 11/19/22. In its agenda and news, agenda item 21, computational photography is a field that has been around for a while, but I haven't heard it described in this way. And World University and School is interested in this WS Film to 3D app, creation and generation and possibilities for teaching and learning as a form of computational photography. So there's a great image you would see in the agenda and news of a group of women at a Google gathering, looking at a toy train on a table in front of them, which might be a Lego robotics train, with an image of a mountain valley with flowers on a Google Smart TV or similar behind it. How to add that physical train, Lego robotics train potentially, with computational photography into that beautiful mountain valley, and be able to begin to play learning robotics with a virtual Lego robotics train set online from home, are the questions. Check out the image in the agenda news. I won't try to display it here in this Zoom video at this time. Check out agenda item 22. The Google Presents AI in the year 2022 video, where this hour-long presentation out of New York, I think, are talking WUAS language. And with regard potentially to telemedicine and building applications to anticipate seismic activity, for example, in California, and to prevent or anticipate wildfires, potentially in Rwanda. Lots of fascinating language research in this Google Presents AI at 22 they talk about Google's 1,000 language project that's just emerging, which is more than the 133 languages that Google Translate is in presently, and that World University and School would seek to even grow from for all 7,151 known living languages. So this would be another 6,151 known living languages that World University and School could create coding for, databases for a universal translator too, on top of this recently announced Google Presents AI at 22,000 language project at Google. Agenda item 23, recent tweet, the University of Edinburgh apologizes over payment backlog. And in what ways, with WUAS accreditation begun, could World University and School and WUAS Google Education come to possibly even explore, with a big help from Google, potentially, restructuring the University of Edinburgh for academics further, and for, in particular, Scotland World University and School, maybe most importantly for faculty pay, etc. These are interesting possibilities in the information technology revolution. Out of this, could Scotland World University and School, which would be CC4 OCW.MIT.EDU centric, offering a whole new curriculum, potentially on a WUS Google education platform for Scottish students, come to complement also the University of Edinburgh's degrees and offerings? And could Scotland World University and School also grow our Scottish academic faculty with handsome faculty pay online at World University and School in some sort of collaboration? University of Glasgow, University of St. Andrews, universities, other universities in Scotland especially as well. Agenda item 24, further aging reversal at George Church 2030 breakthroughs. One thing World University and School would like to contribute to this conversation, which involves gene modification at the cellular level, is in a realistic virtual earth for genetics, a physical digital realistic virtual earth for genetics. And in agenda item 2 in this monthly business meeting on Saturday, we talked about in monthly business meeting on Saturday in the recording, a new development in Google Street View with time slider at the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse, which if you go to this URL, you can find it in the agenda and news. And at this time, in 11/21/22, Google Street View changes with time, you'll find a new link at the bottom of Google Street View at the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse. See more dates. And you click on this link, and there are 2 little video windows at the bottom of the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse URL. One for the year 2007, little video link window on the left of your smartphone, and one for 2012. And you click on this link, this 2007 little video window link, in Google Street View on your smartphone, and you can enter a realistic virtual Earth in front of the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse. And you can turn around in it, begin to walk down the road in it. And you can also see the little vintage fire engine in the 2007 video in the Harbin Hot Springs Gate. If you click on the 2012 Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse link on Google Street View with time slider is important. It's much more fun to do it, perhaps. And you begin to move around this realistic virtual Earth, this realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs. And you look where the fire engine should be, and you can see the sort of its parking place, but the fire engine isn't there. So it's the fire engine, the vintage fire engine was taken away from in front of the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse between 2007 and 2012. Well, these two little video windows could be at the cellular level too. You could look at someone's genome in 2007 and 5 years later in 2012 at the cellular level. And this would have much application for new aging reversal at George Church 2030 breakthroughs, agenda item 24. Or you could look at someone's genome at the molecular level in 2005, in 2007, and in 2012. Fascinating for aging reversal and longevity genetics virtual research as we begin to add all kinds of imaging and 3D developments to this Google Street View with time slider, maps Earth, TensorFlow AI, Google Translate at the cellular and molecular levels environments. These two little video windows, virtual world video windows at the bottom of Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse, 2005, 2007, could also alternatively be for stereo optics in a digital mask with glasses in front of you, in front of your eyes. And so that would allow for interesting developments in vision in digital masks, like in the back of your REI glacier glasses, for visiting even Harbin Hot Springs. And as one possibly walked into Harbin Hot Springs itself, which one can't do at this time, you can't so-called walk past the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse yet, or at this time, with these two little video windows. When we could walk by the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse and even up the 300 yards or meters to the Harbin Warm Pool with our digital glasses on from home with these two little video windows at the bottom, perhaps, and got into the warm pool, whether that's our bathtub at home while visiting a realistic virtual Harbin in the back of our glasses. Perhaps our REI glacier glasses could also be a brainwave headset. And we could be doing research, brain research, say a headband attached to the REI glacier glasses. And we were looking at these two little realistic virtual Earth windows in the bottom of Google Street View with time slider, Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse, and begin to study with sensors receiving data, sensing into the brain and transmitting that to even our avatar bot electronic medical records. We could even begin to do all kinds of brain research, even meditation research, relaxation response research, also begin to generate more data for a realistic virtual Earth, realistic virtual Harbin as ethnographic field site. Say we were able to walk into the real, actual Harbin Hot Springs with such glasses on, and Harbin allowed this. And we were able to create video of Harbin hot springs for ethnographic purposes that would be added to a realistic virtual Harbin in one realistic virtual Earth in Google Street View with Time Slider. This all could emerge from these two little videos in video windows for a realistic virtual Earth that are new in the bottom of the Google Street View with Time Slider Harbin Hot Springs gate. For 2007, for 2012, for 2028. Could we go back 4,500 years to the Harbin Hot Springs Valley and see what the geothermal waters rising up through the earth 4,500 years ago created in terms of possible natural pools, where the Harbin Warm Pool is right now, which is more developed, quite beautiful now. And in 4,500 years, if the geothermal waters are still flowing up through the Harbin Hot Springs earth underneath it, will we be able to explore that? Also geologically, seismically, if an earthquake doesn't come along and reshape the geothermal activity below the Harbin Valley and Harbin Hot Springs Warm Pool. So I'm going to move on to agenda item 25. Just saw the educational innovation line on Peter Norvig's Google page. That Peter Norvig is a director of research at Google and involved in the core search algorithms group, the co-author of Artificial Intelligence, a leading textbook in AI these days. And he's a co-teacher of an AI class, and I think it was 2012, that signed up 160,000 students for one course with Sebastian Thrun. And while maybe only 6 or 7% of those students completed the single course, Peter Norvig has great insight and knowledge in this research area of educational innovation, I think, in how to generate large class sizes, maybe working with a Google team on top of this. So in what ways could World University and School potentially collaborate with Peter Norvig to find even 160,000 students to matriculate for 4-year free bachelor's degrees, September 1st, 2023, as we continue the accreditation process. Agenda item 26, a realistic virtual Earth for medicine in one realistic virtual Earth with avatar bot electronic medical records, even for 7.9 billion people, where the little pegman person in Google Street View in the bottom left corner grows large with AI, with machine learning, and also at the cell and molecule levels, potentially for even realistic virtual Earth for a realistic virtual Earth for surgery and telerobotic surgery. Fascinating potentials, and the Google ecosystem could make this possible. World University and schools, medical schools, and teaching hospitals could build on this Google information technologies and potentially develop in our own directions, even as we seek to possibly hire 2.3 million people in all 200 countries in all 7,000 languages over the next 50 years in brand new ways. But a realistic virtual Earth for medicine and telerobotic surgery for everyone on the planet is emerging. Agenda item 27, It's a blog post from a couple of days that I wrote. Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park, Scotland, End Poverty, UBI Experiments at the WUS Press. And why, and it has to do with also World University and School conceiving of coding for 7.9 billion people, possibly to end poverty with Stanford.MIT.EDU, cryptocurrency, free money daily. And you can already begin to get this, to mine this at minepi.com/SGK-MAC, or with an invitation code that you get somehow else, minepi.com/SGK-MAC. And agenda item 27 is, why is there not yet an MIT Tech Review article about Stanford.MIT.EDU? I've asked this a couple of times on Twitter, and this is also a Twitter post, and I haven't heard back yet. And I still haven't seen an MIT Tech Review, which is an old journal going back to the late 1800s. Been lots of other articles in the MIT Tech Review on cryptocurrencies, but not yet about Stanford.MIT.EDU. And World University and School, in seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people, each a Wikidata PIN number, potentially for free universal education, for speakers of all 7,000 languages, and to end poverty via UBI experiments, would seek to explore this with the well-coded for Stanford.MIT.EDU. And yet, why no MIT article yet? Agenda item 28. It's a blog post beginning with Mount Whitney, recent blog post of mine. Thanks to Professor Brian Kobilka, Stanford University professor and a Nobel laureate in chemistry, for a recent talk. How best to build out one iterating realistic virtual Earth for AI iterating libraries of AI chemical compounds in one realistic virtual Earth for chemistry. So Professor Brian Kobilka's talk, which is probably available online, which I attended about a week ago, was about opioids and opioid receptors and molecules and molecular compounds in the brain and the body. How to begin to add these with libraries of AI chemical compounds into a realistic virtual Earth for chemistry, thinking Google Street View with Time Slider again. And to study possible molecular opioid effects of soaking in physical Harbin hot springs, the warm pool, and in a realistic virtual Earth from a physical digital Harbin warm pool, e.g. from one's home bathtub too. And this would get into questions of possibly the chemistry at the molecular level of meditation, of inner releasing action, and how it works, and which molecular compounds even, possibly regarding the relaxation response. A book published in 1972 or so by Herbert Benson, MD, also of the Harvard Medical School. And how could we begin to study this vis-a-vis this knowledge perspective of Professor Brian Kobilka, this Nobel laureate in chemistry and a Stanford University Medical School professor, work and interpretation of opioids, interesting opportunities in a realistic virtual Earth. You can find Brian Kobilka's talk, I think, in the agenda news as well. for 11/19/22 at World University and School, both World University and School's blog and my blog. Agenda item 29 is a little poem I wrote. I'll read it. Hey, evolution. Hey, eastern woodland forest. You be growing in November. Penn's Woods, Pennsylvania. A wee natural Quaker silent meeting on USA's eastern seaboard in November. Brown leaves on earth, Montour Woods, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You are quiet, beautiful, and old in November. Not haiku, haiku-ish. So World University and School emerges from a kind of friendly leading, and I'm now located in Pennsylvania, having left the San Francisco Bay Area last August 2022, and in seeking asylum in Pennsylvania from the San Francisco Bay Area. And this poem emerges partly in the context of a non-theist friendly, non-theist Quaker interest in evolution and Friend's history. Pennsylvania was a gift to William Penn's father from Charles II, a debt repayment around the 1680s. And Western Pennsylvania was far off the map, I think, of the Philadelphia area, which was where William Penn helped found this holy experiment in religious freedom in the 1680s. But it's Pennsylvania is interesting in its history in these regards, with Friends and Quaker processes well into the information age of 2022. And with regards to developing World University and School for free OCW.MIT.EDU centric World University School degrees, which are also friendly informed. Quakers have a long history with education. Interesting ways for the benefit of many students who graduated from Quaker schools. Agenda item 30, further back to aging reversal. And this agenda news is interspersed with many aging reversal agenda items. There's a fascinating new development, potential against muscle wasting, from CIRM in California Institute for Regenerative Medicine, with its focus on stem cells and aging reversal, and particularly regarding the CD47 molecule. And the tweet, I think, reads these results regarding the CD47 molecule and aging reversal and muscle wasting are significant. Reversing muscle wasting, these results are significant because they could one day make it possible to boost muscle recovery in humans after surgery and reduce the decline in muscle strength as people age, but researchers say more work is needed. This is an article that's available in the 11/19/22 World University and School News and Agenda for monthly business meeting, or agenda, and check it out. Check out the CERM tweet as well as World University and Schools tweets in these regards. Agenda item 31 and 32 are regarding the Stanford Department of Medicine and WUAS, possible collaborations. And agenda item 32 is Stanford Law Codex and possible WUS collaborations. I explored these in monthly business meeting on Saturday with Larry Veland. And you'll see that in the recording from Saturday. I'm going to skip over those. Agenda item 33, friend Ed Smythe and myself, and regarding calling for WUS abolition, there's some pictures of Ed Smythe, MD, and myself, first in 2009 in Berkeley, California, and Berkeley in the San Francisco Bay Area, and with World University and School calling for WUS abolition, two, for all 7.9 billion people, each a Wikidata PIN number, to protect people. New possibilities with regard to law enforcement, machine learning, artificial intelligence, even avatar bot electronic medical records for all 7.9 billion people, and protecting people from criminals, from perpetrators. Similarly, agenda item 34 is about Wikidata, Wikibase, Cloud, and MediaWiki, which World University and School is in. World University and School has been in Wikidata since around 2015, planned in all 300 languages. And World University and School is continuing to develop our WS MediaWiki front end. And we recently responded to a survey from Wikibase Cloud regarding what World University and School thought of in response to their questions, their survey questions. Glad to have this opportunity to communicate with Wikibase Cloud, with Wikidata, Wikimedia Germany, with, I think, the WS MediaWiki. MediaWiki is a separate organization, but may be based in an Eastern European country that has close links with Wikimedia Germany and the Wikimedia ecosystem. Please check out the agenda item. Agenda item 35. We've explored this in the beginning of the WS News and Question and Answer today for 11/21/22. But World University and School 4,500 years into the future, and regarding Harvard and MIT professor of genetics George Church's immortality thinking, we'd like to begin to think about how to plan for World University and School for 4,500 years into the future. As old as the pyramids are today, will we be around as individuals 4,500 years teaching and learning at World University and School as well? Agenda item 36. This is the last agenda item on the nonprofit side of World University and School. Emerging realistic virtual Harbin culture as virtual reality, as communication power also regarding Friends, Quakers, and Unitarians, potentially with regard to virtual soaking, hop into Harbin or other hot springs around the world virtually, and potentially even with regard to religion in virtual reality, where Harbin Hot Springs is a church. It's the Heart Consciousness Church, a 501c3 California, and it's also New Age Church of Being. Also, I think a 501c3 in California, which ordains ministers nominally. And this, I'm not sure where it all stands after the devastating fire of 2015, 7 years ago, where these nonprofit legal entities and where Heart Consciousness Church and New Age Church of Being stand with regard to the state of California in 2022. But the possibility, I mean, it was the devastating fire. Was it state of California mediated? Was it even US federal government mediated? Since maybe the law wasn't working at Harbin Hot Springs or something like that. Who knows how Harbin Hot Springs is emerging from this fire, but this possibility for culture as virtual reality, a realistic virtual Harbin culture as virtual reality, as communication power, as possibly even religion in virtual reality, and regarding yoga meditation too, that because it was virtual might protect people more than the physical or actual Harbin, is fascinating as well. New developments with the information technology revolution, with even regard to religion, religion was my major at Reed College. In 1985 is when I graduated, and interesting ongoing studies of, in a sense, religion, if you could conceive of Harbin Hot Springs as a hippie tax dodge, New Age Church of Being, Heart Consciousness Church, religious organization, and my physical, digital, naked Harbin ethnography, hippies, counterculture, warm pools, and virtual Harbin as an expression or an exploration anthropologically, ethnographically of that. Fascinating possibilities for further study of a realistic virtual Harbin ethnographically online as it emerges, possibly, potentially in Google Street View with Time Slider, Maps, Earth, TensorFlow AI, and even at the cellular and molecular levels, also with Google Translate. So people could visit Harbin virtually from other countries in other languages than English. So I'm going to change hats here and touch on the WUAS Corporation, WUAS Press, agenda items for 11/19/22. WS Corporation, WS Press is a for-profit general stock company in the state of California as a legal entity. And we only got to the first agenda item or two out of about 8 on Saturday because hour-long monthly business meeting came to a close. But the first agenda item, O, the letter O, not the numeral 0, the WS Corporation bank statement for the bank account X9028 from Wells Fargo which I think is based in California, arrived on paper in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, zip code 15221, where I am sort of in asylum here, on Friday, November 18th, 2022. And it was unbundled from its related savings account bank statement on paper. And that's the fifth of 5 bank statements on paper to arrive here at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania 15221 address from Wells Fargo after requesting an address change in the end of September, so about 2 months ago, and requesting that I receive all 5 bank accounts statements on paper here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And 2 of these bank account statements are World University and Schools. So just received the WS Corporation legal entity in California bank statement for the bank account ending X9028 from Wells Fargo on Friday, November 18th. That's momentous in this move and these growth of these legal entities for World University and School. Agenda item A, in what ways is it possible for WS and the Toyota Humanoid Robots Universities program to collaborate? So, been apparently 3 universities that have been collaborating with Toyota Humanoid Robots Universities program, MIT and Stanford and University of Michigan. Recently, per this Toyota article, there are about 13 universities in the US developing, apparently, or having a relationship with Toyota Humanoid Robots, including Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I am right now. And World University and School is interested in developing a WUS home robotics program. So could World University and School participate in this Toyota Humanoid Robots Universities program? And even to begin to get, for example, a THR3 humanoid robot that might stand 5.5 feet tall in individual researchers' homes in Pittsburgh who are part of World University and School, individual students' homes across the United States who might be PhD students, for example, at World University and School in the future, so that we might be able to even begin to code them in different ways. Teach a Toyota humanoid robot THR3 how to play the trumpet. Maybe the same robot or a different robot, how to play the Scottish small pipes. Maybe another robot in a different house in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, teach it how to play the cello. Fascinating potential here. I'm reminded a little bit of Kazuo Ishiguro's masterpiece of a book published, I think, in 2021, Clara and the Sun, and about humanoid robots and how Clara is a robot, and that people are going into stores, what looks like it could be Britain, and getting humanoid robots like a model B2 or a model B3 as these humanoid robot models change, a little bit like maybe automobiles or cars, and beginning to work with them, beginning to have them in their lives in this novel in an interesting way. Would World University and School be able to facilitate World University and School PhD students in the WUS home robotics track developing humanoid robots in each student's home or each faculty member's home. Great potential here. Humanoid robots are still not ubiquitous. They're not even existent on the street these days in the US or around the world that I've seen. I don't think they're on the street, for example, in Japan or in Korea or in Sweden or Japan or Nigeria or South Africa or Tanzania yet. But they may well become so, just like there's whatever, 1.3 billion automobiles, personal automobiles on the roads in all 200 countries out of a population of 7.9 billion people on the planet, apparently these days. In a related vein, and this has to do with exploring the mergers and acquisitions idea with regard to humanoid robots. How to merge, for example, the humanoid robot, Ameca, the robot, with the other humanoid robot from 2010, the Toyota trumpet player robot, and possibly also in World University and School, collaborating with Toyota University's research program, with a THR3 robot, Toyota Humanoid Robot 3. And would it be possible in a related vein, mergers and acquisitions wise, this is moving maybe to the World University and School WS Press Educational Services stores, being an official carrier of 3 Lego robotics kits, would it be possible for World University and School to explore a merger and acquisition with Barnes and Noble's bookstore, which carries Lego brick sets, but not Lego robotic sets, and for possible further developments with humanoid robotics? Could World University and School develop a plan and find investors that would show how to quadruple sales at Barnes and Noble's bookstores, physical bookstores in some of 200 countries, and with humanoid robots even, quadruple sales, and then could World University and School WS Corporation make an offer to the management team at Barnes and Noble and the shareholders to potentially begin to develop Barnes and Noble in new ways that would benefit the shareholders and executives team, and also help World University and School grow, and all around robotics, humanoid robotics, WS Lego robotics. This is about an hour and a quarter long already, and I think I'm gonna just briefly touch on agenda item 3 is about WS as an authorized Lego robotics kit carrier. Agenda item C is the possibility of response to Stanford Medicine's chairman of the medical school, Bob Harrington, MD's conversation with FDA Commissioner Rob Califf, MD, on Twitter, where I think Bob Harrington, MD, says we are losing at implementation. In what ways could WS develop a smartwatch for gene transfer genetic transfer for aging reversal that would help Stanford Medicine win at implementation, and with regard to maybe heart disease, cardiology. Bob Harrington is a cardiologist, but also with regard to many other processes where genetic medicines, it might be transmitted through virtually via the internet, through a smartwatch, might help people. Could WS develop this smartwatch, possibly in collaboration with Stanford Medicine? Agenda item D, could this smartwatch, WS smartwatch for genetic transfer, work with gel electrophoresis as well? There's some articles on smartwatch program green light operated percutaneous control for trans genes too in the agenda news. Check those out. All part of a brainstorming process for a WS smartwatch. Might facilitate genetic transfer for aging reversal, but also reversal of cardiology problems too. Agenda item E, could this smartwatch have a skin patch in it for genetic transfer? So smartwatch to the skin on the wrist, transmitting genes from the internet into the body to reverse heart disease, possibly because of new genetic approaches to heart disease, through the smartwatch would be the idea. And maybe transmit data back from the body through the smartwatch to our avatar bot electronic medical records in a realistic virtual Earth. Thinking Google Street View with time slider maps, Earth, TensorFlow AI, Google Translate at the cellular and molecular levels too. Agenda item F, searched on humanoid robots on the street in Japan, and found a couple of Wall Street Journal articles, one from 2021, just last year. Humanoid robot keeps getting fired from his jobs. Pepper is the name of the robot. And one from 2015, the faces of Japan's humanoid robots, another Wall Street Journal article. None of these articles show humanoid robots on the street in Japan, for example, yet, but they're coming. Humanoid robots are coming. So to close, agenda item G, the last agenda item, all 7.9 billion people, each a Wikidata PIN number at World University and School at WS Press, for Wiki free universal education to end poverty with one main cryptocurrency, possibly like Stanford MindPi, at Nihan Narula, the director of the MIT Digital Currency Initiative, and Phil Windley, who's doing a lot with identity questions and information technology, with some interesting tweets about, recently a tweet about expanding the circle regarding identity questions. Well, if World University and School can code for all 7.9 billion people, each a Wikidata PIN number, we'll be possibly participating in addressing these identity questions for all 7.9 billion people, which are identity questions are myriad and very complex in a whole host of ways. We may be able to facilitate addressing these questions in new ways by thinking about coding for individuals in all 200 countries and speakers of all 7,151 known living languages. Perhaps we can end poverty as a process, as a consequence. Interesting times we live in, thanks to the information technology revolution. This is the WS News and question and answer for November 21st, 2022. It's open. No one sought to join us today. I will be saving this video recording to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott MacLeod World University, SCOTT MACLEOD WORLD UNIVERSITY. Posting this to twitter.com/WORLD UNIVANDSCH and WUAS Press on Twitter. Meeting at worlduniversityandschool.org is the World University and School email address if you have questions, if you would like to matriculate as a student in possibly September 2023 at an accrediting World University and School, potentially accredited. And World University and School is the web URL. The next WS News and Question and Answer, open for conversation, is next Monday, 11/28. Let's see what's on Google Street View right now. There's an interesting stag. See you next week. Stay tuned, twitter.com/WORLD UNIVANDSCH has much information sharing and generation for World University and School free OCW.MIT.EDU centric degrees from your home happening these days. Bye for now.